Happy wee hours of the morning, everybody. Let's do a little update, little talk. First off, the tropical storm Fred is coming right dead at us. The last update I seen, it's between Mobile, Pensacola here, right in the little corridor here where we are. The last update is, it doesn't look very good as far as a storm. It's more or less just a depression now. But when it gets back over the Gulf, it may reform and do something. It may not. It may move west. It may move east. It may come like it's coming and come right at us. But no big deal for us. We've been through so many of these things over the last years. So right now it looks, if it does come in, it looks just like a big rainmaker is about all. We've got plenty of supplies, and it doesn't matter what storm it is. We don't plan on going anywhere. A lot of people say even when the big storms come, well, you should leave, you should leave. Well, the trouble with leaving is getting back. Especially in a big storm, they'll close the roads, and there'll be trees down, power lines down, all kinds of stuff. And by the time you finally get home, there's a good chance that a lot of your stuff in the house and everywhere else is going to be gone, because looters come out in situations like that. So thank you everybody for the concern, but we are not concerned about it. We'll just hang out here and do what we can. They are upgrading our power system out here, new poles and new wires and all that kind of stuff. They haven't made it to our street yet, but that should help keep the power on, unless something bad happens, which you never know what'll happen. But we're okay, we're not worried about it. Now the second thing, I have not been videoing much at all lately, and now that it's over, I'll tell you why. And I didn't want to talk about it before because people think you got the plague or something. We had a family member, my brother-in-law, tested positive for COVID and got a little bit sick. He's okay now. Got a little bit sick, and everybody, he spent the weekend with us. It's 2 weekends ago. Spent the weekend with us. They had the big birthday party for my grandson. The whole family, everybody was around him. Well, most everybody, not all of them. Pardon me, I don't think Ricky Jr. was around him. But anyway, my boys, they all had to tell their bosses, you know, that's the thing you got to do. Because if they get wind of it, that they didn't tell them, if they was around somebody who was tested positive, they could get, you know, fired and whatever. This day and age, you know how it is. But they did their little quarantine thing. They went back and got tested. Everybody's negative. Nobody here is sick, except my brother-in-law, which he lives in Pensacola. He doesn't live over here, but he's okay now. Boys are back at work. No big deal. But I didn't want to talk about it at the time because, like I said, y'all know how it is. But I've got other friends of mine that have been through the same situation in the last couple of months. But anyway, that's over with. Let's see what else is going on. This past week, I'm moving very slow. I've had another flare-up with gout. And this time it's in my left foot, but last time it was in my right foot. And it was all I could do to put on a shoe to get out here to do this. And I have been working a couple hours every day, as long as I can stand it. And if you've never had gout, you have no idea what kind of pain that is. I was talking to my buddy Brad this morning, or yesterday morning. And I think we figured out, I think he's got the same thing I do with the gout and all. It's just like a back injury. If you've never had a back injury, or a bad back or anything like that, you don't know what the pain is. And I've had a broken bone in my back years ago. It doesn't bother me anymore, but when it bothers you, it does. So I'm plugging along. I'm doing everything I can do, and maybe it'll go away. And that's all you can do basically, is drink cherry juice, black cherry juice, if you can find it, but you can't hardly find it around here. Ibuprofen. I put some my arthritis cream on it earlier tonight, and it hadn't helped any, but not really much you can do. Now the medication you can get for it at the doctor's office, I can't take it. With my heart condition and the medication I take for that, I'm very, very limited on medication I can take. So for me, it's ibuprofen, and that's about it. It'll go away in a day or two. It will. I am very behind on some knives, and I very much apologize for that. But and I know it probably sounds like an excuse, but it's not. I mean, there's nobody works harder than I do, or tries to work harder than I do. And when things happen, things happen. So I'll get more knives out this week, promise, one way or another. Let's see what else is going on around here. Boat project. Here we go again. I'm to a point with the boat project that I've almost come to the decision that it's time to quit on that thing. Every time I think about trying to take it out and use it, something goes wrong before I even leave the house. I thought about it a few days back before this gout thing hit. So, well, I'm gonna take it out. So, make sure it don't leak, because you know I had all that leak issue, and I've done some patching on it. I went checked all the electronics, checked everything out, because if you get pulled over, they'll pull you over here, FWC will, and do a safety check. All your stuff has to work. You know, lights, safety equipment, all that, that's all got to work. Don't matter if it's dark or not. I don't care what nobody tells you. All that stuff has to work. If it's installed on the boat, it's got to work. I went checking everything. Fish finder works fine. Live well pump works fine. Bilge pump would not work. Lights would not work. And I've just rewired that thing, you know, y'all was with me through all that. Watch me do all that. So I got to checking the bilge pump mainly, because I will not fish in a boat without a bilge pump. It's no point in it. Because you never know when you're going to take a wave or take a bunch of water, and you need to be able to get that water out of there. We got checking, the wire was corroded almost in half. Brand new wire. Same with the lights. Wires were corroded. I got to looking at the wire that I used, and it is actually a heavy gauge speaker and electronic type wire. Now for boats and cars and all that, you have a marine grade wire for boats, and you have a different grade wire for cars and trucks. And the whole time I was using this wire, I didn't realize that. So if I do try to salvage this thing, I've got to take it apart, almost down to everything, and start all over again. And I'm not sure I want to do that. I put my homemade motor lift, my power lift, worked fine, and now it won't work. Something inside the motor. It's not a submergible type motor, and I guess it got wet. It won't work. And that motor is too heavy for me to lift by hand from inside the boat. And it's just one thing after another. But with the motor, I put it down, you know, lowered it down, let it sit, looked at the foot, the bottom where the oil seals and all are, it's dripping oil. So I've got a bad seal. It's almost like if you believe in signs and omens and all that kind of thing, it's almost telling me don't go out in this thing. That may sound silly to some of y'all, but that's the way I'm starting to feel. But I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I do know by the end of the year I've got to have a boat. I've always had one, and I'm going to have one of some kind somehow. So, but right now I've got so much work in the shop to do, I ain't got time to worry with it. So we'll worry about that later on, and of course I'll bring y'all with me. Another thing I thought about, and I've thought about it, starting a second channel just for my fishing videos when I get to the point where I can do them again. And I think I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put everything on this channel. Knives, fishing, normal things that I do all the time. I think I'm just going to leave it all here. And I looked at you can look at the analytics on your channel. Over half, if not more than that, 3/4 of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed. Now I've been at YouTube for a good while, and I'm not even at 4,000 subscribers yet. So the more subscribers you have, the more you get, the higher up in the algorithms you go. Which means more people can get access to your channel, and the more AdSense money you make. And I'm not ashamed to tell anybody, I don't get a YouTube check every month. I get one every other month or every 3 months. And the biggest one I've ever got is I think $170. That's not much. And one reason I decided to go monetize back when I did is because, just like everybody, I need money just like everybody else does. And on a very, very shoestring budget around here as far as the house goes, the bills go, and even in the shop, it's the same thing. I make a lot of knives, I sell a lot of knives, but I don't make a ton of profit. It looks like I make a lot of money, but I don't. I mean, I make enough to keep going, and I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'm just asking, if you watched any of my videos, reach over there and click subscribe, would you please? Don't cost you anything, and it helps me out a lot. And the interaction, thumbs up, that helps a lot. Comments, that helps a lot. And I would really appreciate that. And that goes for all YouTube channels that you watch. If you enjoy it, subscribe. Like I said, it's free. It don't cost you anything. So it is, what time is it? It is 3:20 something. Almost 3:25. And I've got to do something. I think I'll at least sweep the floor until it gets daylight, and I've got some knives to heat treat. I'm going to try to get that done before I have to sit down. With this foot, it's a pain in the foot, put it that way. Alright, that's going to do it. I'm going to go in and upload this right quick, and then I'll come back out and try to get a little bit of work done and get the next update on this little storm, see what it's doing. And I thank y'all for watching. I thank you for your support, and I will see y'all one day this week. I'll let you know what the storm and what happens around here anyway, and show you some knives in a couple of days. See you next time.